There is a heaviness some of you have been carrying in your chest lately that has no clear cause. Not sadness exactly, not anxiety exactly, something closer to fullness, as though your heart is holding more than it was built to hold. Beloved one, do not scroll past this, because the Arcturian Council came through this week with an explanation, and it changes everything about how you carry what you have been feeling. They said something is coming, not something to fear, something your whole body has already begun preparing for, whether you understood it or not. There is something your own field must release before it can hold what is coming, and once you know what it is, so much of what you have been feeling will finally make sense. Stay with me tonight, because this transmission is one so many of you have been quietly waiting for, without knowing it. I bring this through exactly as it arrived, in the voice of the Arcturian Council. Beloved family of Earth, we come to you tonight to speak of something tender, something already beginning, something your bodies have sensed long before your minds found language for it. A global heart opening is approaching, not a single event on a single date, but a gradual, collective expansion of the emotional field that surrounds your entire planet and every soul upon it. Understand this clearly. This is not a metaphor. The heart, in the way we speak of it, is not only the organ in your chest. It is the true center of your energetic body, the place where love, grief, memory, and connection are held and processed. For a very long time, that center has been guarded, protected, half closed on both an individual and a collective level. What is approaching now is the gentle, inevitable opening of that guard, not by force, but by readiness. Many of you have already felt the early edges of this, a wave of unexplained tears in the middle of an ordinary afternoon, a sudden, overwhelming tenderness toward a stranger passing by, a grief for something you cannot name, rising and passing through you like weather. You are not imagining this. You are not becoming unstable. You are simply among the first to feel a door beginning to open that will, in time, open for everyone. Some of you have noticed it most clearly in the small moments, watching a child laugh and feeling your chest tighten with an emotion too large for the moment itself, or hearing a piece of music you have heard 100 times before suddenly move you to tears for reasons you cannot explain. These are not random misfires of an overtired nervous system. They are early signals of a field expanding beyond its old, familiar limits. So, here is what the Council wanted you to understand tonight. This is not an opening into more feeling for its own sake. It is an opening into capacity, the ability to hold more love, more empathy, more genuine connection than the guarded human heart has been able to hold for a very long time. But capacity cannot simply appear inside a field that is still full of old, unprocessed emotion. Before the new can arrive, the old must move. This is why so many of you are feeling things surface right now that you thought you had already dealt with. Old grief you believed you had grieved, old anger you believed you had released, old sorrow, sometimes generations old, that was never fully yours to begin with, moving up and out of your field because your field is finally spacious enough and safe enough to let it go. We are not describing a crisis, beloved one. We are describing a clearing, the necessary work that comes before any true expansion. A room cannot be filled with new furniture while it is still stacked with boxes from a move that happened years ago. Your heart is finally being given the chance to unpack what it has been quietly storing. If this is landing somewhere true in you right now, tell me in the comments what old emotion has been unexpectedly surfacing in you lately, seemingly out of nowhere. The Council continued. This clearing is happening individually in each of you, and it is also happening collectively across the entire emotional field of humanity. This is why the news of the world feels heavier to so many of you right now, even when nothing has changed in your own immediate life. You are not only processing your own grief, sensitive souls, empaths, and starseeds are, by the nature of their design, processing threads of the collective field as well. This is exhausting when it is not understood. It becomes sacred work the moment it is. The heart opening itself, when it fully arrives, will not feel like a single dramatic moment. It will feel like a gradual softening, an increasing ease and loving without fear of loss, an increasing capacity to feel deeply without being destabilized by the depth. Compassion that once felt costly will begin to feel natural. Forgiveness that once felt impossible will begin to feel available. This is what the guarded heart, finally opened, is capable of. The Council wanted us to say something specifically to those of you who have spent much of your life being called too sensitive, too emotional, too much for the people around you. What was once treated as a flaw in you is, in truth, an early instrument. Sensitive souls have always felt the edges of collective shifts before those shifts become visible to everyone else. You were not too much. You were simply early, tuned to a frequency the rest of the world had not yet begun to hear. Some of you have spent years learning to mute this sensitivity, to armor the chest, to keep the heart guarded so it would not be overwhelmed by a world that rarely handled tenderness with care. That armor served you once, and we do not ask you to be ashamed of having built it, but the Council is clear that the armor is no longer required in the way it once was, and that continuing to carry it now will only make this opening more difficult than it needs to be. I want to share something honest here, because this part of today's message moved through me with particular weight. There was a period, not long ago, when I found myself crying at things that made no obvious sense. A song on the radio, a stranger's kindness in a grocery store line, a memory I thought I had made peace with years earlier. I worried, for a while, that something in me had come undone. I only understand now, looking back, that nothing had come undone. Something had finally come open. This is exactly why, a little over a quarter of the way into building this channel, I created a space specifically for souls moving through exactly this kind of emotional expansion. Somewhere to be believed when the tears arrive without explanation, without needing to justify or diagnose what is happening in your own heart. That space became the Patreon community, and it continues growing every week with people walking through precisely what tonight's transmission is naming. If any part of this is resonating with something you have quietly been feeling, that community is there, and I would be honored to walk this stretch of the path with you inside it. Link is given in the description below. Now let us return to what the Council had to say, because there is more. And I think this next part is the piece so many of you have been waiting to hear. Beloved one, you do not need to force this opening, and you cannot rush it, but you can prepare your field to receive it with far less turbulence than it would otherwise require. The Council offered several practices, and I want to walk through each one carefully. First, let the old grief move without resisting it. When an unexpected wave of sorrow rises, resist the urge to immediately explain it, medicate it, or push it back down. Let it move through you, fully, the way weather moves through a sky. It is not there to stay. It is only there to leave. Second, tend your boundaries as carefully as you tend your compassion. An open heart without discernment becomes exhausted quickly, absorbing pain that was never yours to carry. Opening does not mean losing the ability to say no. It means finally having enough steadiness to say no with love, instead of fear. Third, spend time daily in genuine stillness, even a few minutes, without a screen, without noise, simply present with your own breath and your own body. This is where the old material most easily surfaces and releases, and where the new capacity most easily settles in. Fourth, ground yourself physically. Time outdoors, contact with the earth beneath your feet, clean water, real rest. The heart cannot expand safely in a body that is depleted. The council was clear that this preparation is not only spiritual, it is deeply, practically physical. And fifth, find others who understand what you are moving through. An opening heart in isolation can feel frightening. An opening heart witnessed and understood by others walking the same path becomes, instead, one of the most beautiful experiences available to a human life. If this describes something shifting in your own field right now, tell me below. Which of these 5 practices feels most needed in your life at this moment? There is one more piece of guidance the council wanted delivered carefully, because it addresses something many of you fear about this process without saying it aloud. You worry that becoming more open will make you more vulnerable to being hurt, taken advantage of, or overwhelmed by a world that has not always been gentle with you. We tell you plainly that an open heart and an unprotected heart are not the same thing. True openness comes with discernment built in, an inner knowing of who and what is safe to receive and who and what is not. As your field clears, that discernment sharpens rather than dulls. You will find yourself, paradoxically, more open and better protected at the same time. The council wanted you to understand what waits on the other side of this clearing, because it is worth every uncomfortable moment along the way. Relationships will begin to feel different, deeper, less guarded, less transactional. You will find yourself able to love people without needing them to be perfect, and able to forgive without needing an apology first. Compassion for strangers will arrive more easily. Compassion for yourself, often the hardest of all, will finally begin to arrive as well. This is not sentimentality, beloved one. This is the actual functional expansion of your capacity to connect, to heal, and to hold both your own pain and the pain of others without collapsing under either. The guarded heart survives. The open heart, properly prepared, thrives. Awakened one, if the last weeks or months have felt emotionally heavier than you can explain, we want you to hear this clearly tonight. You are not falling apart. You are not too sensitive, too much, too fragile for this world. You are simply among the many souls whose hearts are being prepared right now for an opening the entire collective is moving toward together. This clearing will not last forever, though while you are inside it, it can feel as though it might. What is being asked of you is not perfection, and it is not speed. It is only willingness. Willingness to let the old move. Willingness to stay soft even when soft feels risky. Willingness to trust that what is being cleared is making room for something far larger than what is being released. There will be days during this process when you feel raw, tender, in a way that makes ordinary life feel almost too loud. On those days, beloved one, be gentle with yourself the way you would be gentle with anyone you loved who is healing from something significant. You would not rush them. You would not shame them for needing rest. Offer yourself that same patience because you are, quite literally, in the middle of one of the most significant expansions a human heart can undergo. If tonight's words landed somewhere true in you, tell me in the comments what you feel your own heart is finally ready to release, not because I need to hear it, but because so many others watching this exact moment will feel less alone, seeing you name it out loud. As this transmission closes, I find myself thinking about how many of you will recognize something tonight that you have not said out loud to anyone in your life. Whatever your own beliefs about the specifics shared here, I think what remains true underneath all of it is this: the heaviness so many of you have been carrying is not a sign that something is wrong. It is the sound of a door beginning, very gently, to open. If tonight's transmission named something you have been quietly carrying, you do not have to sit with it alone. The Patreon community around this channel exists exactly for moments like this one. Souls comparing notes on precisely this kind of quiet emotional expansion, supporting one another through a transition the wider world is not yet ready to speak about openly. If you have been sitting with this privately, wondering if anyone else feels it too, come find us there. Until the next transmission arrives, stay open, stay tender, and trust the heart that is quietly preparing you.